Alright, welcome along to a new episode. So, in this one, this is a deeply personal one for me, and hopefully, the tips that I share with you in this episode is going to help someone out there. That is, well, I've definitely got it in my heart for this particular subject because it's something in the past I've dealt with myself. So, if you want to hang about after I give you these tips, I'm going to share a bit of the backstory of myself and what I went through. So, in this, we're going to be talking about overcoming painkiller dependency with some strategies for recovery and healing. Alright, step number one in this is to recognize the signs. Be aware of the signs of dependency, which may include taking more medication than prescribed, thinking about the medication often, feeling that you need the medication to function, and experiencing withdrawal symptoms when you're not taking that medication. Number two is to seek professional help. Talk to a healthcare professional about your concerns. This could be your primary care physician, a psychiatrist, a substance abuse counsellor. They can help you understand your situation to provide guidance on the best course of action. Number three is gradual tapering. If you've been taking painkillers regularly, it's important not to stop abruptly. This can lead to withdrawal symptoms. Your healthcare provider can help you create a tapering schedule to gradually reduce your dosage in a safe manner. Number four is to explore alternative pain management strategies. Work with your healthcare provider to explore alternatives such as physical therapy, acupuncture, or non opioid medications. This can help address your pain without the risk of dependency. Number five is to get yourself a support system. Build a support system by reaching out to friends, family, or support groups. Having a strong support system can provide emotional support and encouragement as you work your way through your dependency. Number six is to address underlying issues. Often, painkiller dependency can be linked to underlying issues such as chronic pain, mental health conditions, or past trauma. It's important to address these underlying issues as part of your recovery process. Number seven is to consider counselling or therapy. Counselling or therapy can be beneficial in addressing the psychological aspects of painkiller dependency. It can help you understand the root causes of your dependency and develop coping strategies. 8 is to create a healthy lifestyle. Engage in activities that promote overall health and well-being, such as regular exercise, healthy eating, and stress-reducing practices like meditation or yoga. 9 is to avoid triggers. Identify and avoid triggers that may lead to temptation to use painkillers. This could include staying away from people or situations that are associated with your previous drug use. And 10 is to stay informed. Educate yourself about painkiller dependency and recovery. Understanding the nature of the condition and the recovery process can empower you to make informed decisions and stay committed to your recovery. Alright, so genuinely, hand on heart, I hope this video or this podcast episode finds the right ears and it gives somebody a bit of, support to actually reevaluate what they're doing. And it's not a simple thing and something that's going to creep up on you without you even really knowing about it. It's to share part of my story. Like anybody that's been watching this channel or listening to these podcasts for any length of time will know this story. But I'm currently at the moment once again dealing with a back injury, something that just over a lot of years of heavy work, heavy lifting, I have actually managed to shave a chunk out of a disc in the base of my back. So right now I am in serious pain at the moment, although I'm good at dealing with it now. It's getting to be a part of my life now. It's just like on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as pain goes, these days I'm somewhere between a 4 and a 5, and anything above that, 5 or 6, anything above that there, I will use something to help me get through that pain. But if I can manage it, I won't use any painkillers at all. I'll use a bit of exercise, clean up my diet a bit, build the core muscles to try and protect the back. So that's what I'm doing to try and deal with this. But this current flare up feels kind of different at the moment, but I digress. What happened to me was I was what I like to call a functioning pill popper. at the end of the day. And it's not like I was overly addicted to them, but it definitely had a high dependency on them. And that didn't even dawn on me until one weekend I ran out of my prescription. Now, I never really went outside of that prescription, but I would have found myself uh, getting like uh, paracetamol and stuff on top of the medication for the back. I might have been taking them as well. So, over the counter stuff. But the one weekend where I didn't get to renew the prescription, and it was a Friday, and we couldn't get the order through the doctor until the following Monday. And by the time that went through and the stuff was picked up, it was the Tuesday. So I went from the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and it was Tuesday evening before it was a 4 day stretch without any medication. And again, like one of those tips said, you need to taper it off, not come off it altogether. You need to break it down in small steps to get yourself out of it completely properly. Within 2 days of not having the prescription, I was up the walls. I would have started a fight with my own shadow, and that's not normally like me. Like, if something kicks off, I can hold my own, but I'm not the sort of person that's out there starting trouble. But in that 4 day period, if you looked at me wrong, there was going to be an argument. And it was only then that I started to realise something wasn't right. And one of the other things that really made it step out to me that something had to be done, like this was after, at this point, I was probably 15 years into steady use of medication for back pain. Then I just happened to come across a podcast, and it was Kevin Smith of Jay and Silent Bob fame was actually interviewing Brian Johnson from, not Brian Johnson AC/DC, but Brian Johnson Beard Man from Comic Book Men. Have you ever seen that show? Now, he was in a similar situation with a knee injury, and he had to go through the whole process of going in, getting put into a place to get himself off medication and all the stuff that he was taking outside of it, like far, far worse than me, like a full blown addiction. But the thing that jumped out to me there was when he actually ended up getting the operation done on his knee and he came out the other end of it, his body had built up such a high resistance to medication that they couldn't deal with his pain properly in the hospital because of the height of medication that he would have needed. So he had a rough recovery from that knee operation. And I was starting to think to myself, okay, right, at some point down the line, I need to get an operation in the back. I don't want to be in a similar situation to this guy, so I wanted to get off it altogether. So the process for me started tapering it down, went to see my doctor and whatnot, cut the prescription down, and that was a rough year and a half period to, like, that's how long it took for me, and I was only kind of dependent on it. I wasn't fully addicted to him. I wasn't running buying stuff in the street corners or anything like that, but somebody that was just lightly dependent on painkiller medication. It took me a full year and a half to actually get myself to a point where the system no longer needed it or craved it in any way. So it is a rough journey that I've been through myself. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of sleepless nights. There's a lot of cold sweats. It's the withdrawal you're going to go through is going to be intense, to say the least, depending on how much your system needs the stuff. So if anybody's gone through it right now, like, my heart's bleeding for you. Like, honestly, I'm not just saying that there for the sake of, like, I'm making videos and podcasts and whatnot, and I'm trying to paint myself in the best possible light. That's not the case at all. If I was trying to paint myself in the best possible light, I wouldn't even have touched on this subject, because I don't know if this subject matter, I don't even know if at the point of recording this, if YouTube will even let it get on there without any restrictions on it, because it's one of those subjects that's fairly taboo, and it's so strange, whenever you think about the stuff that can go online these days. So if I was trying to paint myself in the best possible light, I would have stayed away to that there and tried to build up some sort of fake persona online and just, try to make you think that the sun shines out my backside when it doesn't. I'm just as much of a mess as the next person, but I'm not as big a mess as I was. So I'm constantly trying to improve myself, and getting off that stuff was a big key in it, because the brain fog that you even get on it is intense. There's a stage there, and I believe I did put it in a video probably about a year ago on the channel here. I was kind of talking about this as well, and I think it's going to help a lot of people out there that's in a similar boat. The brain fog that you have when you're on this medication now. The whole time I was on it, I was going to work. I wasn't missing a day. I was going in there, but I was hurting myself more and more each time. If you're starting to feel pain through a massive veil of painkillers, and there's something badly wrong. So the brain fog that came down, there's a 10-year period in my life where I was going to work, coming back at home in the evenings, eating dinner, going to bed, getting up in the morning, going back to work. 10-year period where I can quite honestly say right now that even though I lived those 10 years, there's certain aspects within that 10-year period, probably longer actually, where it's just a blink of an eye. There's no real standout moments in that 10-year period, because I was just constantly zonked out, keeping myself going to go to a dead end job and get a dead end wage out of it. So yeah, so if you're going through this sort of stuff, I'm here for you. So if you want to get into the comments, talk to me about it. If you haven't got the support network around you, feel free to use me as part of your support network. I'd be glad to talk to anybody that's going through it, and give you a little boost if you need it, to keep you on track, because it is one of the most difficult things that you're probably ever going to try in your life. Yeah, you're going to need that support side. I'm happy enough to give it to anybody. Right, that's going to do it. I hope this helped, and I hope that's helped someone out there. If it even helps one person, then it's worth it. So that's it. Stay safe, guys. Share the video along to someone that you feel needs it. And yeah, hit that like button. Do all the good social media stuff. I will love you forever. Until the next episode, stay safe, and I will talk to you all then.